a shit. I don't want to hear it. Asia, Cameron, or Cheryl Swift. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew they wore 22. Stop that. The fact that Clark and Wilson were on the same 2025 WNBA All-Star team caught the attention, if only because there was some question about a shared number and how it would be handled. Ultimately, it didn't matter because Clark was out, of course, with a groin injury.
From the moment the first leak hit the internet, everything shifted. Tension was already building inside the Team USA practice facility, but last night someone deep within the organization dropped a message that rocked the entire basketball world. Team USA regrets forcing Caitlin Clark to change her jersey number, and the fallout is already tearing through the locker room. But that was only the start. Because 30 minutes later, a second leak exploded across social media, one so shocking that officials immediately tried to shut down every phone, every hallway, every conversation. According to insiders, Caitlin Clark is prepared to walk away from her Team USA spot if Paige Bueckers is officially added to the final roster. The sports world froze. Coaches scrambled. Executives panicked. The higher-ups at USA Basketball went completely silent. No statements, no explanations, just pure chaos. Tonight, we break it all down. A why the regret started. A how the locker room fractured. A why the roster is suddenly at risk. And why Caitlin Clark's silence just became the loudest message in international basketball. What you're about to hear is wild, messy, dramatic. Exactly the type of situation Team USA never wanted in public. Let's continue. The tension truly began the moment Team USA forced the jersey change. Players warned it could ignite something bigger, but behind closed doors some staff believed it would maintain the hierarchy. Instead, it blew the entire atmosphere apart and unleashed a storm that no one inside the program was ready to face.
And while there was a number 22, number 22 will be wearing number 17, as shown by the official camp roster. So let me see if there's a load in and come up. I don't know how big it's going to be. Number. Okay, number. Right there. Number 17. So who is actually getting 22? Is anybody getting 22? Nobody. Nobody on the squad is wearing 22. Well, that's a little strange. Maybe they did.
One assistant reportedly admitted in this fictional dramatization, "We underestimated her influence." And they weren't wrong. The moment fans saw Caitlin Clark without her iconic number, the reaction was instant. The internet didn't just react, it erupted. Not quietly, not calmly. It was pure chaos. Inside the locker room, the shift was immediate. Some players avoided the topic entirely. Others pretended nothing happened. And a few didn't hide their feelings at all. What should have been a unified Olympic roster suddenly felt cold, tense, and divided, an unspoken rivalry simmering beneath the surface. Then came the second spark. Rumors began swirling about Paige Bueckers, not because Paige did anything wrong, but because Team USA was reportedly debating future roster adjustments. Changes that could impact playing time, roles, and who gets elevated long-term. Some executives believed bringing Paige in early would help build the future. Others warned it would completely detonate an already fragile environment. And when that conversation reached Caitlin, the temperature dropped instantly. No yelling, no confrontation, no dramatic scene. Just one quiet, private message. If she's on the roster, I'm not coming. No explanation. No context. No public comment. Just one line that sent officials into absolute emergency mode. Because for the first time, they realized they were in danger of losing the biggest star they've had in years. Not because of injury. Not because of performance. But because the internal politics inside USA Basketball had gone too far. People started turning on each other. One group blamed the number change controversy. Another blamed the coaching staff. A third insisted the media had made everything worse. And then someone said the sentence that completely shattered the room.
She is not going to give up her number. But at the end of the day, look, nobody's wearing 20. They probably just gave random numbers and didn't want to, give out number 22 because Sonia and Caitlin both wear 22 and Cam Brink wears 22. There are three players that wear 22. And yes, clearly one of them is better than the others. But for the sake of this training camp, if you don't go into a training camp with the mentality of everyone's equal, then what's the point of having a training camp?
We should have never forced the number change. The words landed like a bomb. The room went silent, because everyone knew it was true. That single decision had become the symbol of everything spiraling out of control. The regret was real. The tension was real. And the fear inside Team USA was louder than ever. Suddenly, this wasn't a team preparing to battle other countries. This was a team fighting itself. Players were stuck in the middle. Some whispered privately, "We're tired of the drama. This is supposed to be the Olympics, not reality TV. Why do the decisions keep making things worse?" Others said, "Caitlin should have had her number. This was avoidable." A few added, "Paige deserves consideration too. Don't blame her for this mess." Lines were drawn, quietly, silently, but unmistakably. The energy at practice became uncomfortable. Quiet. Sharp. Nobody wanted to speak first, because nobody wanted to be the next leak. Then came the moment that flipped everything. Caitlin Clark stepped in front of the cameras for the first time since the chaos began. She didn't yell. She didn't attack anyone. But her voice, calm, steady, burning underneath, hit harder than anything she could have shouted. She said, "All season I handled disrespect. All season I dealt with decisions that made no sense. And all season I stayed quiet. But I'm not going to pretend this hasn't affected me." The interview room froze. She leaned forward. "People talk about fairness. I haven't seen much of it. Not this year. I just want respect." That one sentence detonated the entire situation. Not because of what she said, but because of everything she didn't say. Her tone. Her pauses. The exhaustion in her face. The stress in her shoulders. Everyone watching knew this wasn't about one number, one roster spot, or even Paige Bueckers. This was about months of pressure, politics, and decisions that piled up until something finally snapped. Minutes after the interview, phones lit up inside Team USA headquarters. Directors, coaches, executives. Everyone wanted answers. Someone reportedly said in our dramatization, "We need a meeting. Tonight." And in that meeting, the truth poured out. Regret. Frustration. Embarrassment. People admitted the number change became a public disaster. People admitted the players felt ignored. People admitted the locker room was fractured. For the first time, leadership realized, if they didn't fix this immediately, they could lose Caitlin Clark, divide the team, and walk into the Olympics with a roster tearing itself apart. Meanwhile, Paige Bueckers, who did nothing wrong, was watching everything from the outside. Unfair pressure. Unwanted spotlight. A storyline she never asked for. Even her camp reportedly said, "Why drag her into something she didn't create?" Because this was never Caitlin versus Paige. It was the system. The decisions. The behind-the-scenes politics that pulled both stars into a storm they didn't start. And now, Team USA stands at the edge of a cliff. They regret their choices. They fear losing their biggest star. They know players are frustrated. And they understand that the world is watching. One thing is clear. This cannot continue. Not with leaks. Not with infighting. Not with panic. Because right now, the Olympics aren't the story. The roster isn't the story. The tournament isn't the story. The story is the chaos behind closed doors. The pressure building. The decisions unraveling. And the superstar who finally broke her silence. And this entire situation? It's far from over.